I think it's very interesting that to tackle yung dynamics ng mga careers nitong tatlong ito because I think we cannot talk about fashion influencers here in the Philippines without starting with Heart Evangelista. We all know that Heart is essentially the first, fashion influencer in the Philippines. I think you cannot start a conversation about fashion influencer and fashion influencer culture without starting first with Heart, because I think beyond everything else that has been discussed, that has been talked about, it was Heart who essentially started the ball game on the fashion influencer na game. Hindi mo maaalis sa conversation si Heart simply because she was the first among all Filipino fashion influencers that really cemented her role at the Fashion Week in Paris and in Milan. Now, she started off, of course, as an actress. However, after years as an actress, she started diverting her energies towards arts and fashion. She started first as a painter. There was a time that I think in the starting at the mid 2000s to the late 2000s, inumpisahan ni Heart yung mag-paint. And there was a point wherein she started painting on her Hermes na mga bags. And this got the attention, the PR of Hermes, who is based in Paris. And dahil, of course, things get viral on social media when Heart started, painting, mga paintings niya doon sa mga Hermes na mga bags, unti-unti itong naging viral. So it was shared in the internet sphere, and that, that has, gotten the interest of the PR ng Hermes. And doon nag-umpisa yung fashion influencer career ni Heart. And because she was the first one, of course, to be invited na mag-cover, pumunta ng mga fashion weeks in Paris and Milan, that actually became, the industry playbook on how to get, fashion influencing jobs. And I think dahil siya yung una at siya yung pioneer ng ganitong career, everybody is looking up to her as the first one and therefore don't want to emulate. So, going back doon sa kwento na it was actually a PR from Hermes who found, who invited her to have to meet up in Paris. She started, of course, but back then, may asawa na siya. She's married to, of course, to Cheese, and she started her journey there. And with the industry kasi, it's a very small industry, very tight-knit yung fashion industry that if you get your foot on the door, hindi kalaunan, mahihirapan ka to get the other feet inside the door, because people tend to whisper, people tend to talk about fashion, especially if you are the newest it girl. And I think Heart was able to cement herself as the it girl from the Philippines throughout several years of being involved in the fashion game. So and the beauty of that as well is that Heart is not only a fashion influencer, but she also moves merchandise, and I think that is a very important and a very potent tool to have, because during the mega na interview with Heart that was released earlier this January, or was it February na? I'm not sure. It was mentioned there that itong si Heart, kapag meron siyang binili at isinuot during the fashion week, that item tends to get sold out. Whether it's a Boucheron ring from Bulgari or a YSL limited edition na sunglasses, she tends to move merchandise. And of course, if I am a brand and I know that there is this one influencer here that kapag nagsuot siya ng any item, any accessory, that item gets sold out, I will want to get her to represent my brand. And that is where Heart, really cemented and really placed herself as the it girl when it comes to fashion influencers here in the Philippines. So, hindi nakakapagtaka na she's able to to travel to different countries, not only in France and Italy, but also to Hong Kong, to Singapore for engagements with new store openings. In fact, just recently lumabas yung kanyang tawag ito, yung kanyang involvement with the new Fendi store in Malaysia, together with Lee Min Ho. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, among the Asian stars, Heart is one of those celebrities na pwede mong ihilera sa mga world-renowned na mga celebrities all over, when it comes to the fashion industry, especially with, luxury brands. So, yung nangyari sa kanya na hindi siya allegedly pinapasok sa Dior because there was someone who allegedly said that she's not coming, and then let's put in this other celebrity for this show. Tapos nung dumating si Heart allegedly doon sa fashion show, biglang hindi siya pinapasok dahil meron daw pinapasok as her representative and whatnot. Doon nagkaroon ng gulo doon sa fashion influencer na career niya. And this is this also fueled a lot of rumors with regards to her glam team, and this is where it got us here. Dahil ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan natin is how effective it really is Heart when it comes to being an influencer. The mere fact that brands acknowledges that when Heart posts on about an accessory or an outfit or a piece of clothing from other brands at nagmo-move. Ibig sabihin, gumagalaw, nagkakaroon ng sales na katapat yung mga brands na ito when they see it on Heart. It automatically tells us na effective si Heart as a fashion influencer. Because if I am a brand, more than marketing reach, I would prefer the bottom line sales na mangyari compared to just mere social media buzz. And I think dito nagkakaiba yung careers ni Heart and ni Pia. Okay? I think when it comes to the market that Heart caters, she really caters to the AB market, to the people who can actually afford to buy luxury good items. People who can afford to splurge on luxury goods, because luxury, by its definition, is not a need but rather a want. The difference with that is that kailangan mong uminom ng tubig, kailangan mo ng air para huminga, but luxury items is not part of the necessity in life. It helps, to bolster your image. It helps to build confidence, but it does not necessarily mean that you cannot live without a luxury item with you. And this is where Heart really comes as an effective influencer, because not only does she cater to the AB market, but she is in herself a luxury goods consumer, and therefore she is influencing the people within her circle. And this is why in terms of effectivity as a influencer, Heart is nangunguna siya sa listahan. She is at the top of her game because when you are the market, you can afford to buy these products, and you are believable when you buy these products and tell your followers that this is the next it bag kapag nakita sa'yo. And this is why when it comes to fashion influencing, hindi mo maaalis si Heart doon sa usapan. You cannot remove luxury brand fashion from Heart because she is the market of luxury goods. So that is what makes her an effective na influencer, because Kat essentially endorses Dior Beauty. So hindi nagkakaroon ng overlap with those of Heart. In fact, they go side by side. That is why in the recent na Dior event, you can see Isa Calzado there with Heart, with Catriona, and with Liza Soberano. So this is where, maganda yung symbiosis ng fashion influencer careers ni Heart at ni Catriona. They don't compete, and knowing how Heart has been very open with yung fashion is not supposed to be a competition. This is I think the best illustration for that, dahil maganda yung may harmony, very harmonious yung kanilang mga personal brands, that they don't clash with each other. And I think this is where things needs to be said, that if you want to go inside and into the fashion influencing the game, you have to first define what is your personal style, what is your personal brand, and what is your core value when it comes to fashion. Dahil these things would be your compass to your true north. So when you are going to take mga fashion risks, dito ka bumabalik, dito sa tatlo. Kung ano yung personal brand mo, kung ano yung core value mo, kung ano yung personal style mo. Because people will be confused if you don't stick to your own personal style. Kung pabago-bago yung personal style mo at walang masabing this is the concrete na image that you are projecting, that you are showing people, then it will be difficult for them to follow you because they don't know who you are. Unlike with Heart, you know that she is luxury. And that is, that is the reason why when it comes to the conversation of fashion influencing, she is actually the best example to use in terms of knowing what's her personal style, what's her personal brand, because she communicates that well. Kaya kahit na makitaan mo si Heart na nakasando lang, pero ang suot-suot niya is the diamond encrusted na Bulgari serpentine na mga bracelet, alam mong hindi nalalayo doon sa kanyang personal brand, which is luxury goods. Okay, let's wrap this up because I don't want to take this too long to explain. When it comes to the three girls, when it comes to the fashion game and the fashion influencer na mga strategies and mga direction that Catriona, Pia, and Heart is taking on, try not to compete with each other. I think that is the essence of all of this, because if you start your fashion influencing na career sa panunulot ng mga contacts, sa mga underhanded na mga strategies so that you can get ahead, this will not serve you in the long term, because people, especially people in the fashion industry, can smell inauthenticity a mile away. And this is something that I think every industry, especially those who are at the peak of their game in each of the industries, that you can smell, insincerity a mile away. And this is especially true with the luxury brand na game, because they would know if you are a nouveau rich, or you are old money, or you are a pretentious person trying to pass off as one. And ultimately, the best way to create a mark for your career in the fashion industry is to always be authentic. When Heart mentioned in her interviews that, being genuine, being true to who you are, as the cornerstone of any advice that she can give for anyone who wants to have a potential career as an influencer for fashion. The moment that she mentioned authenticity and being genuine and being true to yourself, that means that you need to focus on who you are, what is your personal brand, what is your personal style, and learn how to communicate that without having to compete with everybody else or somebody else in the industry. You don't piggyback on somebody else's, success as well. because it will not bring you to the peak of your career, because you will always be second best because you are being measured on somebody else's standard that is not your own. So dito pumapasok yung alam mo kung sino ka, alam mo kung ano yung personal brand mo, what you stand for. Are you a goth girl? Are you a luxury girl? Are you a kikay girl? Or do you advocate for, sustainable fashion? These are the things that would define your career, and you should define for yourself if this is who you are as a influencer and as a person. And live by that code of conduct. Live by it. Dahil if you don't know your personal brand, no matter how expensive your clothes are, no matter how many people who follow you, they will see that this is a fake when you fake it. Dahil you cannot sustain being fake 24/7, 365 days a year. So I think Heart was really nailing it on the head when she said that be true to yourself. Dahil being true to yourself means that you know who you are, you know what is your personal brand and personal style, you know your values, and you use those three as a compass to where do you want to lead your career in the future. So I think overall, this conversation is an eye-opener for every one of us, because there is a opportunity for pageant girls, to have a career as an influencer in the fashion field, only if you define who you are, you know who you are, and you are, you work hard to communicate that, and you work hard to develop yung personal brand mo. Okay? There is no easy, quick fixes to become famous. And as they say, if you are a fly in the pan na kind of success, nandito ngayon, bukas makalawa, wala na. And the mark of a true fashion influencer is longevity and effectiveness. Dahil ultimately, after all of this are done, fashion should be fun, fashion should be personal, and fashion should be something that is true to yourself. That you don't put up fashion simply because you want to create an image. You have to be who you represent.